What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here for episode 3 of the Bottom Line Views Top 100 Players of 2018 series. This list was voted on by Dylan, AC, and of course, myself. The list is compiling the top 100 players in the NFL heading into the 2018 NFL season. It is split into a series of 6 videos, so make sure you check the playlist for each individual video. Don't be shy. Let us know what you think. Was a player too low? A player too high? Let us know your thoughts, positive or negative, about the top 100 in the comments below. Also, like the video and subscribe if you are new. Here are players 60 to 41 on the top 100 according to the Bottom Line View. At number 60, Gerald McCoy, the defensive tackle of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was ranked 8th on Pro Football Focus's interior defenders ratings. He's constant, he's consistent, and he's just a force year in and year out for Tampa Bay. He's the most dominant force on the Tampa Bay defense year in and year out, and he's a freakish athlete. He's freakishly quick from the interior defense, and he can consistently penetrate into the backfield game in and game out. That lends himself to being a great pass rusher. He's notched 47 total pressures across last season. But where McCoy does get caught, because he is the one-man show that he is on Tampa Bay's defensive line, which hopefully the additions that they made this offseason will change that, his run defense in 2017 did suffer because of that. And that's why McCoy isn't a little bit higher on this top 100. But McCoy overall, as I stated earlier, one of the best interior defenders every single year, and you can count on him in 2018 to be the very same. Deion Jones, linebacker of the Atlanta Falcons. The first time being on the top 100, Deion Jones truly proved that he's amongst the elite at the linebacker position. He ranked 6th on Pro Football Focus's linebacker rankings. Continuing his form from his rookie season, Deion Jones has developed into arguably the game's best cover linebacker. Jones had the best coverage grade among linebackers for Pro Football Focus, and really, it showed up in every single big game that you watched the Atlanta defense. Jones made plays in key games and win big games against all the division of foes. He beat New Orleans because of his late plays. He beat Carolina because of his late magic. And Deion Jones, he just has outstanding athleticism and range for the position, but also the instincts and the ability to play in space and lock down receivers like few linebackers can. Deion Jones, I stated how great of a cover linebacker he is, but because of his athleticism, he is able to track down running backs, he's able to track down the quickest of wide receivers, and he's also able to put power into his hits across the middle because of how quick and how easy it is for him to transition from backing up in coverage to driving his way in pursuing a ball carrier. Deion Jones is one of my favorite defenders in the NFL, and it is 59 on the top 100. At number 58, wide receiver of the Arizona Cardinals, Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald's excellence just continues year in and year out. When you think he may lose a step, he simply continues to perform. When Carson Palmer went down with injury, we thought that Fitzgerald maybe not as good in terms of production, but Fitzgerald, what do you know, was great again. He was forced to do with a combination of Drew Stanton and Blaine Gabbert, but he still did it because Fitzgerald is amazing. One of the more impressive things to me about Larry Fitzgerald is his ability to adapt. And when you're a player that's changing in terms of your ability, in terms of your speed, maybe you don't have that same speed you used to, Fitzgerald is one of the few receivers and few players, period, that have been able to adapt their game and still stay great. He went from one of the best deep threats, one of the best deep ball receivers, and just throw it up and grab it type of receivers, to one of the most consistent possession receivers and most consistent route runners in the NFL. Fitzgerald, since moving to the slot, has become arguably the best slot receiver in the game. And he just creates massive mismatches because of his size and because of his ability to use his body to shield defenders from the football. At number 58 is Larry Fitzgerald. 57, Trent Williams of the Washington Redskins. Ranked number 9 on Pro Football Focus's rankings for tackles is Trent Williams. And Trent Williams, to me, last year was amongst the best tackles in the NFL, if not the best tackle. And yes, just like Tyron Smith an episode ago here on the Bottom Line View, we discussed how he's still a great player despite having a lot of injuries. And that was the same way for Trent Williams. Although I would say Trent Williams still maintained a better play standard in 2017 than his counterpart in Tyron Smith. He was a bit banged up this past season, but he still did remain the glue that holds the Skins line together, and he's one of the best, when healthy, shutdown tackles in the game. Williams, at his best, is almost never getting beat one-on-one and is extremely balanced for an offensive lineman in both the run blocking game and the pass blocking game. I'm excited to see what Williams can do at full speed in 2018. At number 56, Kawann Short of the Carolina Panthers. Few players were as consistently dominant on defense as Kawann Short for the Panthers. He was a major threat against both the run and the pass over this past season. Short sacked the quarterback 10 times from his defensive tackle spot, but also had 9 hits and 32 additional hurries as well. And he was one of the best run stoppers in the NFL. He didn't have a single bad game over this past season and had some of his best performances against some of the best competition in the NFL and some of the best offensive lines that he faced. Kawann Short needs to get more respect. I know that Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis are the big names on the Panthers defense, but Kawann Short is right up there amongst the best interior defenders in the NFL, ranking 3rd for Pro Football Focus and ranking at number 56 overall on our top 100. At number 55, outside linebacker for the Houston Texans, Jadaveon Clowney. Jadaveon Clowney is one of my favorite defensive players to watch. He ranked 13th on Pro Football Focus's edge rushers. And to me, Jadaveon Clowney is one of the best guys at just completely messing up offenses. He is one of the best guys in one of the stats that's never recorded. The stats where he can completely F your offensive play up. His athleticism, his strength, and his pursuit to the player who is carrying the football, no matter that be the quarterback, the running back, the wide receiver, the tight end, whoever it may be, Jadaveon Clowney is going to try and put that guy into the dirt. He's going to try and force a fumble. He's going to try and make a play. And Jadaveon Clowney last season, with the injuries that hit the Houston Texans defense hard last year, Clowney really had to step up his game, and in a hurry. And he did. Not only was he a great player last year, but he proved that he could be one of the best players in the league, even without a lot of help on defense. He went from a complimentary piece to the most important player on that defensive front in Houston. He's a freak athlete. He makes tons of plays. He's one of the best run-stopping outside linebackers in the NFL, and Clowney's going to continue to make plays in 2018 with a better supporting cast around him in Houston. At number 54, cornerback and defensive rookie of the year, Marshon Lattimore of the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints, they had an overall phenomenal rookie class last year. One of the best of all time, with impact seasons from multiple different rookies on both sides of the ball. Alvin Kamara, Marshon Lattimore, Ryan Ramczyk. Marshon Lattimore was the one that really transformed his side of the ball. We already knew what the offense was in New Orleans and is. But with Marshon Lattimore on the defensive side of the ball, the Saints completely improved their play. And just by adding Marshon Lattimore, they added a shutdown corner from almost the first snap that he took on the field. Lattimore was good enough to be entrusted with shadowing the game's best receivers as a rookie, game in and game out, and he didn't surrender a touchdown all season. He allowed a passer rating of only 45.3 when targeted, and his play in year one was just absolutely remarkable. I think it can only go up, and he's going to continue to improve. I wouldn't be shocked at all if Marshon Lattimore became the best corner in the NFL. He is really that good. He is good at reacting on the ball. He's good with the ball in the air. He's good at man-to-man. He's good at zone. He's good in every area that a corner needs to be. And this guy was only a rookie last year. MARSHAL Lattimore comes in at number 54. At number 53, Zach Ertz, tight end of the Philadelphia Eagles. Zach Ertz went from an above-average tight end, who was a pretty good player, to a game-changing weapon in 2018. Ertz was the go-to clutch guy for the Super Bowl champions in 2017, including scoring the game-winning touchdown for the Eagles in the big game. He brings the heart of Philadelphia to the Eagles offense. He's good after the catch. He's good on third down. He's great pretty much everywhere that a tight end needs to be in the modern NFL. He was third in yards and third in touchdowns for a tight end in 2017. With Wentz returning to quarterback in 2018, Ertz will return as a security blanket. At number 52, Marshall YANDA, guard of the Baltimore Ravens. YANDA has been the premier guard in the NFL, if you ask me, for quite some time now. Unfortunately, he's been dealing with quite a few injuries. He's a 6-time Pro Bowler, a 5-time All-Pro, and I think he can get back near the top next season if he remains healthy. And we know the Ravens will really need him. I think Marshall YANDA is that good that he barely played last year, but still deserves a spot amongst the 52 best players in the NFL. I think if the Ravens have any chance of going to the playoffs next year, Marshall YANDA is going to be a huge part of it on the offensive side of the ball. And number 51, Keenan Allen of the LA Chargers. Keenan Allen is arguably the most underrated wide receiver in the NFL. He's a fantastic route runner. He's clutch on third down, and he completely took over games last year, especially down the stretch. Allen is another elite season away from officially being put in the top 5 conversation. He's already in the top 10, but the top 5 conversation. He finally was healthy enough this year to prove himself to be in that top 10 conversation. But I think one more year of doing what he did this past year, and you should probably write his name down as a top 5 wide receiver. Allen ranked third among receivers with 2.55 yards per route last season, which is pretty incredible. Plus, if the Chargers can make it to the playoffs, he will be on the big stage for probably the first time in his entire career, and hopefully the mainstream media can finally catch the attention of what Keenan Allen has been putting on the football field. A grinder, a great player, and a guy that is constantly trying to improve. Keenan Allen is at number 51. At number 50, Keenan Allen's teammate, Melvin Ingram. Melvin Ingram, Super Mel. He's super underrated and also super athletic. The thing about Melvin Ingram is he is easily a top-notch 4-3 end or a 3-4 outside linebacker. Whatever you need him to be, he's going to be one of the best players at that position wherever he lines up. His athleticism allows him to make moves other players simply can't at his position. His explosion off the ball and his ability to cut like a running back through the hole is just outstanding. His quickness is unbelievable. He also has the power to push a tackle back into a quarterback if need be. Pro Football Focus graded Ingram as the 6th best edge rusher in the NFL, 4th best pass rusher, and as he says himself, he can play just about any position on the football field. I think he actually could. I'm not going to lie. At number 49, Travis Frederick, center of the Dallas Cowboys, and in my opinion, the best center in the NFL. Honestly, what can you say about Frederick? He's the best center in the NFL. He was in 2017 once again, and probably won't be dethroned anytime soon. The Cowboys' offensive line wasn't as stellar last season as they were in 2016, but really we thought there was going to be regression. Frederick was, though, the stabilizing force for both the run and the pass game, along with being the leader along that offensive line. Frederick will again power the Cowboys' offensive line in 2018. Hopefully, with Zeke back, Frederick can play to full potential, opening up holes for Zeke the Freak. At number 48, Casey Hayward of the LA Chargers. A lot of Chargers coming in on the top 100. He was the number 1 corner, according to Pro Football Focus this past season. Although I don't think he is quite that good, he was the highest graded corner in football, according to Pro Football Focus, by quite some distance, actually 96.4, which was 4 points higher than any other player at the position. Hayward did only allow 42.7% of the balls thrown his way to be caught this season, which was the best mark among starting corners in the NFL, while he also intercepted 4 passes and broke up another 15. Hayward may be a bit undersized, but his quickness and smarts allow him to jump passes and also the versatility to cover the top wide receiver, rather on the outside or in the slot. Casey Hayward is, again, one of the more underrated players in this league. Maybe it's because he's in LA with the Chargers. Maybe it's because he's a bit small, but nobody really throws him in the elite corner conversation. I think it's finally time to put him in that conversation. Now, I don't think he's quite number 1, but I think he is somewhere near that top 5 at number 48. At number 47, Chandler Jones of the Arizona Cardinals. With Calais Campbell departing to Jacksonville this past offseason, more pressure was put on the shoulders of Chandler Jones to be the Arizona Cardinals' primary source of pass rush. In terms of production, it is hard to argue against Chandler Jones. Really, any season of his entire career. Chandler Jones led the league in sacks in 2017 with 17 and has 3 seasons back-to-back over 11 sacks. Chandler even proved me wrong these past 2 years, moving from more of a traditional 4-3 end, where I really thought he would succeed the most in his career with New England, to a 3-4 outside linebacker position, where in his second season with the Cardinals this season, he absolutely dominated. He was one of the best pass rushers game in and game out in the entire league. He has that unique athleticism at his size to just get it done in any scheme. He's a stud for the Cardinals despite little to significant help around him. He led all defenders in the NFL with 65 pressures from the right side of the defense in 2017. Chandler Jones hopes to have another season like he did this year, and I wish him well as a former Patriot and as a Patriots fan. Chandler Jones comes in at number 47. At 46, David DeCastro of the Pittsburgh Steelers. David DeCastro didn't allow a single sack all season last year and was only responsible for 2 knockdowns. We hear about Ben, we hear about Brown, we hear about Bell, but we don't hear about their other great offensive player, David DeCastro. DeCastro is one of the league's best run blockers and just doesn't get enough love for how much he allows Le'Veon Bell to do in the backfield. You know why Le'Veon Bell can just sit there and wait for a hole to open? Maybe it's because David DeCastro is his right guard. I don't know. I'm just saying. But David DeCastro, one of the best guards in the NFL at number 46. At number 45, Andrew Norwell of formerly the Carolina Panthers and now the Jacksonville Jaguars. Andrew Norwell got paid for his efforts this offseason and, like I said, now a member of the Jaguars. He didn't allow a sack or a hit this entire season in pass protection and was the best pass blocking offensive lineman in the entire NFL. He also only surrendered 15 total pressures across over 1,100 snaps. That is absolutely insane. And though he may be a relatively unknown name, he's a phenomenal player and, again, one of the best all-around offensive linemen at the moment. Andrew Norwell is at 45 and will give a significant boost to the offensive line of Jacksonville. At 44, cornerback Darius Slay of the Detroit Lions. Somehow Darius Slay's season flew really under the radar, despite some eye-popping coverage numbers. Slay allowed a passer rating of 55.6 when targeted and was not beaten for a pass longer than 37 yards all season long. He was also just a complete ball magnet. He had 21 combined interceptions and pass breakups this past season. In doing so, Slay also tied for the league lead in interceptions. So just stop sleeping on Darius Slay. He's one of the game's best shutdown corners. Plus, he will get even better with Matt Patricia scheming for him, who's one of the better guys at scheming for corners and making corners better. He's just a master of utilizing corners. So Darius Slay put his skill set with Matt Patricia's defensive scheme, and you're going to see an upgrade of even Darius Slay's play. So Darius Slay, already a phenomenal player. I expect an even better 2018 at number 44. At number 43, LeSean McCoy, running back of the Buffalo Bills. Shady McCoy has been one of my favorite runners in the NFL really since he entered the league. His patience, his quickness, his ability to make something out of nothing is just... Who would have thought the Bills would make the playoffs with the current crop of players they have? But they did, and a lot of it was because of LeSean McCoy. And even at his age, he showed that he could have another great year in 2018. You look at his stats, you look at his totals, and McCoy was stellar last year. And really, the one stat that shows me that he's not going to go anywhere is that he had 16 explosive 15-plus yards runs in 2017, which tied for the second most among all running backs in the NFL. So McCoy still has the explosion, still has the quicks, and still has the ability to make a defender miss, which is the reason why he's still going to be one of the best runners in 2018. At 42, Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs is one of the most unique tight ends ever to play. Although he is not one of the most complete tight ends ever, he just plays the position in a certain way that it allows him to be so dynamic. He is one of the game's true matchup problems on offense. There may be no better evidence of Travis Kelce's impact for the Kansas City Chiefs than what happened in the playoffs against Tennessee. From the moment he left the game, the Chiefs' offense fell apart. They didn't have anywhere to go with the football. And Kelce led all tight ends in broken tackles with 16, providing that he's one of the best after the catch, 6 more than any other player at the position. When you think about all the great guys after the catch at the tight end position, Travis Kelce is perhaps the best. You don't see another tight end that gets as many screen passes, as many dump offs, as many run plays as Travis Kelce gets. And a lot of that is because of his ability to make defenders miss and to run defenders over. So Travis Kelce is a great tight end, and in our opinion, the second best tight end in the NFL at 42. Lane Johnson is the league's complete right tackle. He has athleticism, he has run blocking, he has pass blocking, and he has attitude. Johnson was impressive in the Super Bowl for the Philadelphia Eagles, keeping a clean sheet in pass protection, marking the 6th game this past year that he did not allow a single pressure at all. He was a vital member of an Eagles offensive line that ended the season as Pro Football Focus's #1 ranked unit. Next to nobody really has the same sort of athleticism as he does at the position, and that's what allows him to be so unique as a right tackle. And that allows the Philadelphia Eagles to do so many different things in terms of their run game. So the Eagles love having Lane Johnson, and I love watching him play. One of the more exciting offensive linemen in the NFL at 41. So that wraps up part number 3 of the top 100 players of 2018 according to the Bottom Line View. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe for more NFL and the top 100. It's Mitch of the Bottom Line View. Peace out.